Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Players Own YouTube channel, and I'm absolutely ecstatic because the Premier League season is back, and that means the channel cornerstone is back. The Premier League predictions are back for match day 1, and what a match day we have. Arsenal travelling to Old Trafford to play Manchester United, the new look Liverpool on Friday night taking on Bournemouth, and how did Chelsea fare after the Club World Cup as well. Tottenham coming back from their Super Cup. There's a lot of great games to be excited about, and I'll be going through all 10 games, giving my thoughts on key players, key matchups, and then finally giving you my prediction on each and every game. If you're new to the channel, guys, please make sure to subscribe. Join us on this journey throughout the whole season. We have a point system here on the prediction videos. 3 points for the correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result, 0 points for neither. Last year, 264 points is what we ended up on. The aim this year is for 270. Go even higher once again. 250 our first year, 264 last year. Let's go for the big 270 this year. With that being said, guys, let's get straight into it. Our Premier League predictions for season 25-26 starts now. We start at Anfield on Friday night. The champions Liverpool host Bournemouth in what could be a bloodbath, I think. You look at Liverpool coming off the back of a great first season Arne Slot, winning the Premier League with basically no signings. Now they come into this year with an absolute super team, a complete re-overhaul of the squad, new players in the front line, a dangerous squad, and only more players to come. But it's those key players, the cogs like Van Dijk and Salah, that you can trust on come into the season that we'll be keeping a focus on. Would they be at their very best off the back of a disappointing Community Shield? And then for me, the difference maker in this game here will be Florian Wirtz. He showed signs and patches in the first 35 minutes versus Crystal Palace, how he can take over a game of football, operating in those little spaces in and around the box, one touch, two stuff work with Ekitike and Salah. And then most importantly for me, the way he's able to find shooting opportunities for himself and for others is just unstoppable. I think he's the best number 10 in world football. Many do as well. And he will be such an important figure, especially in this game here versus a very, very weak Bournemouth backline. There's a lot of players missing. For me, we saw in the Community Shield, the speed on the break for Liverpool was fantastic. One touch and two touch stuff was out of this world. The best we've seen for Liverpool in some time. So look to that to be their key avenue to goal. Conversely, Bournemouth, a fantastic season once again under Ndone Iraola, faded away come the season's end and as they missed out on Europe, but they'll look to bounce back again and go again for another solid season. Again, the big news has been the whole backline being sold away and transferred away, so a lot of new faces. Diakate defensive for me will be a man to keep an eye on for. He'll be the guy next to experienced head Marco Senesi to try and keep it quiet, keep Ekitike, Salah, Gakpo and Florian Wirtz out of dangerous places. It will be a real baptism of fire for Diakate as he joins Bournemouth, but keep an eye for him to try and be solid defensively. For me, about Bournemouth here, limit the turnovers, limit Liverpool's opportunity to get at you on the counter-attack, and that'll go a long, long way to winning this game of football. But with that being said, I just cannot see anything other than a Liverpool massive win on opening night here. I've gone with Liverpool 4-0 victory over Bournemouth. The lack of defensive presence and a lot of the transfers away from the club hurting Bournemouth in this game here. The next game is the Saturday midday kickoff. Aston Villa play host to Newcastle United. This is our Soccer Saturday live stream, so join me on YouTube and assist for this game here. Very, very excited for this one here. Aston Villa coming off of another solid season, but missing out on Champions League qualification. They'll want to be back amongst Europe's top come next season. There's been a real lack of signings in the summer, but Unai Emery makes this team tick. It makes it a juggernaut. It continues to perform in the season and in competition. So they look to go again and push for Champions League football. In this game here, I look to that midfield area, especially Boubacar Kamara alongside John McGinn, especially Kamara, that intensity, that ferocity without the football to win the ball back and match the intensity and the physicality of that Newcastle United midfield trio will be so, so important. If Kamara can get in control and just boss this game from the midfield area, it goes a long way to Aston Villa winning this game of football. So look to him in midfield to play a massive role. And look to Aston Villa to be a bit more clinical in the final third if they want to get the victory in this game here. Look at Newcastle United. Chaotic transfer window. Underwhelming in many regards with the amount of options they missed out on. But a chance to go again here in the league and set the story straight that their starting 11 has got enough to get over the line. Look, without Alexander Isak, it's going to be up to Anthony Elanga and Anthony Gordon up top to make it count. Their pace in behind, their precision and their direct running will be so important to get the better of Aston Villa in this game here. And I think away from home, the more chaotic the game is, a back and forth like a ping-pong battle, the better it is for Newcastle United, especially with how much of an energetic side they are, how much they run, how physical, and how quick they are. I think they'll like that style of football, but I just don't see them getting over the line this game here. Aston Villa at home on the opening day, I see that being in their advantage. I've gone with a Villa 3-1 win. Newcastle will make it difficult, but Villa's quality will show in the end. Off to the south coast for some of our evening fixtures, starting here with Brighton hosting Fulham. Brighton off another solid season under Fabian Hertzler, and we'll look to kick on yet again. They have the belief they can, with a lot more young talent developing in this side here. I look to this game and I look to the midfield area. Baliba and Yassin Ayari have played a massive role for Brighton last season in possession and without the football, and look to them yet again to boss this game. If they can keep possession of the football, if they can keep Brighton on the front foot and peg Fulham back, it'll go a long way for them getting a positive result in this game here, because we know how good Fulham are away from home. They're tricky customers. They come to this season with basically no signings. They're running it back yet again with the same squad, but most importantly, Marco Silva there as well. I looked at Alex Iwobi, the man of the moment last season. He made things happen, defensively covering off, but most importantly with the football, making things happen in the final third and being that dynamic, energetic beast in and around the box. He'll be the avenue to goal alongside Anthony Robertson on the left-hand side there. That's where Fulham do their best work. It'll be a comparison of two sides. I think they'll be more robust, low block of Fulham, taking on the more possession and one-touch football of Brighton Hove Albion. I do see both sides cancelling each other out. I've gone with a 1-1 draw here on the opening day for Brighton and Fulham. Sunderland are back in the Premier League and they take on West Ham United in the Saturday evening fixtures. A massive off-season for Sunderland, a whole new squad with a massive turnaround of transfers. The biggest being Enzo Lefebvre and Granit Xhaka. Those two, I'm so excited to watch how they work in midfield combination. Xhaka, the experience, the veteran, the captain of the football club now, that sweeper defensively and that goal threat from around the edge of the box. Absolutely thunderbolt scored for Leverkusen in his time there. Then you got Enzo Lefebvre, a little bit more tricky, smarter on the football, and can make things tick in the final third. That dynamic will be important for Sunderland all season long, but most importantly in this opening fixture here. You look at Sunderland, that first 15 to 20 minutes back in the Premier League in front of the home fans is going to be massive. Can they pounce early? Can they get West Ham behind by 1 or 2 goals and from there control the rest of the game? Conversely, looking at West Ham, quieter off-season, not as many major signings, coming off a really underwhelming season last time around. It's time for Graham Potter and his side to get things going in the right direction and get a confidence booster from the start here. A massive game, I think, required against this rampant Sunderland side for that back three. In particular, Max Kilman, who had a very, very underwhelming season last time out. The quality is there. Young English talent established in the Premier League. Can he go and refine some of his best form and protect Alphonse Areola from what is going to be a very, very exciting Sunderland attack? Very important that back three stays compact. Very important for West Ham. They see out the first 30 to 35 minutes and take the sting out of this Sunderland side with the emotion and with the adrenaline of rejoining the Premier League. So massive start required for both sides here. If West Ham can ride it out, I think they're going to win this game of football. But I think Sunderland start like a house on fire. I've got them winning a very, very entertaining game. 3-2 here, Sunderland get it done. I think the new players and the energy of being back in the Premier League gets them over the line in this game here. Europa League champions Spurs take on newly promoted Burnley. Spurs coming off, again, a horrid season, but a fantastic finish, a fairy tale finish, winning the Europa League under Ange Postecoglou. Coming to this game here against a low block and a defensive powerhouse like Burnley, it's going to be about Mohamed Kudus and Richarlison, who were quite good in that Super Cup game versus PSG. Can they make things happen in the final third? Can they tick the ball over, play with speed and play with intensity and break down this low block? It's going to be hard for Spurs off the back of that 3-day turnaround, travelling back into London. It's important for me that they get a quick start and try and get this game to bed before the second half. The longer this game goes on, the more Burnley build into this game. Looking at them, they come off a historic promotion run, finishing second with 30 clean sheets. It was all about defence last time around. It's going to be all about defence this season in the Premier League as well. Maxim Estev, alongside Ekdal, the two centre-halves, are going to be pivotal all season long, but very much going to be important here away at Tottenham. Such an attacking side, has so much talent and dynamism in the final third. If they can keep it quiet for the first 35 to 40 minutes, make Tottenham continue to play this game out after a quick turnaround, they have a chance to get at this Spurs side as the game stretches and as the Spurs players' legs start to get a little bit heavier. For them, it's all about defensive solidity, keeping it compact, two banks of four, and preventing Spurs from getting in between the lines for me. With that being said, I think it's going to be a very slow burn, a very boring game, but I think Spurs' quality in the end gets them over the line. I've gone with a 1-0 Spurs win. Burnley make it tough, but Tottenham get the opening day victory. We're off to the Molineux for the Saturday night game. Wolves taking on Manchester City in what is going to be a very, very entertaining matchup. Wolves may have lost Matheus Cunha, but their side under Vitor Pereira has been superb. Some great signings during the summer as well. They've got a very, very competitive side, and they're going to be very tough to beat at the Molineux. I'm looking at this side here, and I look back to last season, and when they turned it around under Vitor Pereira, it was all about that back three being compact, being solid, and being the foundation for this Wolves side to go and play football in the final third. So Agbadou, Totti, and Matt Doherty again, they are the focus for me, especially against the dynamic, energetic, and youthful front line of Manchester City. If they can keep it compact, limit the opportunities for City in the first half, and make this game a very, very tough scrap, that plays into the hands of Wolves, especially at home with their home crowd behind them. So massive game for that back three there to keep it quiet and to try and limit Man City's opportunities. For Wolves, I think for them it's about hitting on the counter-attack, utilising the likes of Fer Lopez, Arias and Strand Larsen, and try and get at this Man City high line that can often be very, very vulnerable in transition. Looking at the Citizens, very underwhelming season last time around. Injuries, ageing squad, that's all been flipped this season as Pep Guardiola goes again with a rejuvenated, younger side. The likes of Ryan Cherki coming into the side, Tajani Reinders, Ait Nouri facing off against his former club, and also as well, Marmoush's second season, his first full season in the Premier League as well. So a lot to be excited about. And for me, it's going to be those wide players, Doku and Marmoush, who were growing as the season went on towards the back end of last season. I think they'll be super, super important against the Wolves wing backs, using their trickery, their turn of speed, and their ability and nuance in and around the box. It could be the difference maker in a game that could be quite tight as the game goes in deep. I'm looking for Man City to be more intense with the football, move at a bit more speed. No Kevin De Bruyne, but can you create something out of nothing? Can you make the ball tick in the final third versus a low block? That's going to be so important for them all season long, but most importantly in this game here versus Wolverhampton. I've gone with the Man City win. I've gone with a 2-0 win. I think Marmoush and Haaland get on the score sheet here and get over the line here versus Wolves, but it's going to be no easy game for the first game of the season away at the Molineux. The Sunday early fixtures takes us to the City Ground as Nottingham Forest play host to Brentford. Forest, in what has been a quite successful off-season in the end, has picked up some major signings. Dan Ndoye joins the football club, but most importantly, they keep a hold of Morgan Gibbs-White, and that is so important to their system. It was all about counter-attacking and energy, defending, and then transitioning last season. They'll try and develop that this season, and that becomes more important with the likes of Morgan Gibbs-White staying, the Elliot Andersons of the world, and those two for me are going to be the most important players in this game here. Brentford will sit with a low block. They'll sit in behind the football and look to counter-attack the counter-attackers of last season. And we saw with Nottingham Forest last time around, last season, whenever they had the football and had the onus to go on attack, they really struggled. So against a Brentford low block, when they have to go and make things happen and make the ball tick over and play in between the lines and play 1-2 touch stuff, they're going to need a Morgan Gibbs-White and they're going to need an Elliot Anderson to be the energizers, to insert some quality and some pizzazz in the final third. And as such, those two are going to be so important for this side here. And it's going to be so important throughout the season that Nottingham Forest find a way to break down low blocks, because they're going to become the hunted, not the hunters this season. Looking at Brentford, a very, very difficult off-season. You lose Thomas Frank, you lose Norgard. You let go of like a Flecken as well. Visser looking like on the way out. We know even Tony left a few seasons ago. Brian Burmo's left as well. It's a really, really fresh-faced side. We don't know what we're going to get with this unit, but it's about the players that have been there and done it before. Nathan Collins and Sepp van der Berg, the two centre-halves now for Brentford this season, going to be so important to prevent Nottingham Forest getting a run on and getting in their mojo early in this game here. They can keep it compact and keep it solid defensively. It'll go a long way for them being competitive in this game here. I think this season for Brentford is going to be all about being solid defensively. That is your backbone. That is your foundation. They're going to need that if they're going to stay up this year in the Premier League. I think they have real no chance to stop this Nottingham Forest side. They're too quick. They're too skilled. They're too fit in terms of running without the football. And I think they run rampant here at the City Ground. A 3-0 victory for Nottingham Forest at home to get their season off to a flyer. It's an all-London clash as Chelsea play host to Crystal Palace in our Super Sunday live stream fixture. Make sure you join me for that live stream come Sunday as well. A massive game here between two sides that did very, very well last season. Obviously, Chelsea, Conference League champions, top 4 finish, securing Champions League football, and then also winning the Club World Cup as well. Enzo Maresca has got off to a flying start at the Blues. They've added more talent with João Pedro, Jamie Gittins joining as well, just to add even more quality alongside Liam Delap up top. I think they're a real title chance if they get things going this season. And if they get these two players going, Cole Palmer and João Pedro going, they're going to go very, very close to pushing Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City all the way for that Premier League crown. I think those two will be important in this game as well. Crystal Palace sit in a back 5. They did it at Wembley the last 2 times we've seen them versus Liverpool and versus Man City and got positive results by sitting in deep, absorbing pressure and limiting spaces for those creative players to go and play their best football. Cole Palmer and João Pedro can start linking up like we saw in the Club World Cup final and make things tick in the final third with inserting speed and quality, reverse balls and intensity in little pockets against this Crystal Palace side. They will eventually break down and find the back of the net. I think it's all about patience for Chelsea in this game here. They can eventually break away, keep peppering away at this Crystal Palace backline. They'll eventually find a way through. And once they get going, this Chelsea side is super, super dangerous in the final third. For Palace, historic season last time around. FA Cup champions. They've just gone and won the Community Shield as well. They are flying on cloud 9. Obviously now, a few transfers potentially leaving the football club. But on face value, this squad is very, very solid, and they've got one of the greatest managers in the Premier League in Oliver Glasner to back them in for another season yet again. And look, in this game here, I think it's all about the midfield combination. Wharton alongside Will Hughes as well. It's going to be so important. The intensity and the physicality they brought to match and actually better Liverpool in the Community Shield is what they needed to do here to match Chelsea and the quality on the football. If they can make it a scrap, if they can be the controllers in midfield and win those midfield battles, it'll drive Crystal Palace forward and give them a real hot shot in this game here versus a Chelsea side that can be up and down at the start of the season. I think for Palace it's about their ability to be consistent throughout the season in terms of their defensive acumen. I think going to this game here, being solid defensively across the 90 minutes, and that starts with Wharton and Hughes in midfield, will go a long way for them winning this game of football. I think it's going to be a scrap. It's going to be tight. It's going to be about the moment in the final third. But I think Chelsea's quality will show in the end. Gone with a Chelsea 2-1 win at home the opening day versus Crystal Palace. But don't get me wrong, Crystal Palace can definitely cause an upset in this game here. The Sunday evening kickoff sees Manchester United host Arsenal, an opening day classic. 2 of the traditional rivals going head-to-head here. And I cannot wait for this one here. Manchester United, a horrid season last time around. No trophies, near the relegation zone, but it's been papered over by one of the great transfer windows. A whole fresh new front 3 with Benjamin Sesko, Mateus Cunha and Brian Mbeumo. Patrick Dorgu coming into his first full season at Manchester United. And potentially Donnarumma and Belieber on the way as well. There is belief once again at Old Trafford and Ruben Amorim backing his side in here. I think for me, as it will be all season long, but most importantly here, versus the elite Arsenal defence, how well can Cunha and Mbeumo link up? Bruno Fernandes has been dying for some support and some attacking talent in the final third. You've got it now. And it's all about those 2 number 10s for me in this Amorim system. When they're off the chain and they're linking the game up and playing with speed and intensity in the final third, defenders can't stop it. We saw when Amad Diallo got going last season, so hard to stop these 2 number 10s. So if the support from Diallo and Dorgu would be there, but most importantly, if Cunha and Mbeumo can link up well in the 2 number 10 spot, I find it hard for Arsenal to keep this United side quiet. There's too much attacking talent in the final third. It might be too much for the Arsenal side to stop. Looking at Arsenal, a great season last time around. Second, very, very good, just not good enough. And they need to take the next step, and they've now got Victor Gyökeres, a proper striker, a number 9. This should be the season they can push on and win the title. You think it should be. They're going to be up against it with a super team like Liverpool, Pep Guardiola's Man City, the Club World Cup champions in Chelsea. But there's a real good vibe around Arsenal this season. They come to this game with full belief. They'll go to Old Trafford knowing they should win and believing they should win. I think for me in this game here, it's going to be simply down to their main man, Victor Gyökeres. It probably will be all season. That is the missing link for Arsenal. They need a number 9. They've got it. Can he perform a superstar type debut performance at Old Trafford against his old manager and put Arsenal on the right track? A big result here for Arsenal. It's a big step towards a title for me. It's that belief that we can go for match day 1 and go all the way. I think for Arsenal, with all the emotion, the ups and downs they have, the lack of belief, the poor decisions, it's all about getting off on the right foot. And this is a great chance for them in this game here versus Manchester United. It's going to be massive. Absolutely huge, this game here. I've gone with a 1-1 draw. I think United play for the draw and they'll take the draw. Don't want Arsenal go there wanting to win, but I just don't think they get it done versus this Manchester United back 5. 1-1 draw between Arsenal and United. Disappointing for Arsenal and a great point for Manchester United. Monday Night Football sees Leeds play host to Everton. Newly promoted Leeds coming off a winning championship season. Again, though, one of the sides has made little to no movement in the transfer window, and that's such a real lack of belief around the club with the fans and the manager as well. It's going to be a tough season. And look at this side here. Opening day is a real chance to try and make something of it. The crowd will be behind you. The energy's there under the floodlights. I look to Dan James. I look to Wilfred Gnonto. Their dynamism, the speed on the flanks, that's their chance to get at this Everton side. A little bit weaker defensively in terms of the fullbacks, not as quick, not as agile. That's where they can get at them. That's the real difference maker in this game here for me. I look at Everton, however. What a turnaround under David Moyes. The Sean Dyche era was quite bleak. Relegation battle type stuff. But once Moyes got there, lack of losses. You're getting points. You're getting 3 points. It was belief, and now they're building a new stadiums here. You've got signings like Jack Grealish, Drewsby Hall's on the side, Iliman Ndiaye in his second season. The new signing, Barry up top, Beto finding form. It's a really, really nice side here. And I look to this game here against Leeds United that will probably come to this game looking to sit in and defend. It's going to be up to Everton to do the attacking. I want to see them do that this season. I see him as in and around that top half. If you're going to be a top half side, you have to break down sides and show you can do it on consistent basis at home and away. And as such, Iliman Ndiaye and Drewsby Hall are the key players for Everton for me. Can they show that quality on the football, that creative spark? We know they've got it in their back pocket, but can they do it on the big stage here on the opening day? If they can start pulling the strings for Everton, make things tick in the final third, getting opportunities for Beto or Barry up top goes a long way. Everton start flying, and then you start believing that this side could do something very, very special this season. I've gone with an Everton 3-1 win. I think they've got too much talent, too much belief and quality right now, and Leeds this season just look underdone for the Premier League. There we go, ladies and gents. That's all 10 games from Premier League Match Day 1 predicted. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What is your game of the weekend? Who are some of the key players to keep an eye on for? Let me know in the comment section down below. And then let me know your predictions in the comment section. Try and track along with me. Do the point system with me as well. 3 points for the correct scoreline, 1 point for the correct result, 0 points for neither. I'd love to see how we track against each other as the season goes on. With that being said, guys, the football is nearly here. So I hope you have a great day. Enjoy the weekend's football action. And I'll see you guys in the video or podcast very, very soon. Till next time, guys. See you later.